Okay, so yeah, just a quick peculiar announcement. I mean, almost the whole Dinky Tech brand is meant to be a parody in a certain respect of like a priest, doing sermons and such, and like so. Just some of that has to do with the nature of it, and the nature of it being sort of a parody of that is obviously a joke, so that's comedic. And then there's sound. Sound is like some of the base of like the brand, if you will, like other brands that are sound brands, if you will. Um, yeah, I'm sound making. Um, so the purpose of this video is to talk about the Dinky Tech coin, which in essence is meant to illustrate. It's like cryptocurrency, obviously, is an industry, but this is a parody of that as well. Like talking about a parody of being a priest. It's kind of relevant in the same vein because, like, um, it's about energy. Energy is also why, like, Dinky Tech, the brand, is also a parody of being a priest of the church industry, and therefore it relates to, um, you know, comedy and sound making in that sense. Like, so in this instance, it's not really like it's all, and edutainment is kind of a factor that kind of connects with these other elements as well, those three elements, because it's like the parody is meant to like bring value to the ideas that, or the merging of the those things, like the elements, which entails energy is like the combining factor, if you will. Basically, that's the bottom line here. That's all I'm trying to spit out. Honestly, just trying to spit this out, to be quite honest. So that's what I'm doing. The Dinky Tech coin is energy. It's like just about energy. Energy is, in this instance, related to philanthropy. So, a lot of the um, sounds, music going forward is meant to be spiritual. A lot of the, ways in which Dinky Tech is like doing sermons and trying to be spiritual, like a priest, is meant to be a parody, which is comedic. And because it's not 100%, it is like reality, but it's a parody in that it's like trying to emulate a priest and like using, and then also talking about finance at the same time. So it's edutainment at the same time. We're adding the comedy and the reality of energy and the business world. So it all kind of comes together, but the back end of it is philanthropy. So including the sound, the back end of the sound making is philanthropy as well. Those three things are equaling to philanthropy energy, or they're at least directing towards philanthropy energy. So that's what this little vlog is about as well, is about the announcement of the Dinky Tech coin, which is, a cryptocurrency as of now, as of making this video, which is just its own little term. And there's meant to be NFTs within this ecosystem and such things regardless. So like, and that has nothing to do with this stream. This stream is just basically talking about the Dinky Tech coin, which is a fake parody in this instance of new coins that are released, is in essence a symbol of philanthropy energy. And that's in essence what is the purpose of this stream, is to announce that as the coin, which is coined by the symbol of the Dinky Tech logo, if you will, so that all the spiritual energy, and there's something called spiritual finance, which is a recurring theme, which is also part of the priest parody in the mix of things, because it relates to like how entrepreneurship is super spiritual, and there's a lot of whimsy and just like focus that has to do with spirituality and energy that comes from different places through focus and frequencies, and that relating to money being energy and monetary energy. And so as a result, this coin is all about philanthropy. It's all about converting all these energies, spiritual finance included, into philanthropy energy. Philanthropy energy is the sole energy within the Dinky Tech coin. And so it's just an interesting marketing play to try to put this type of energy through this vessel of the Dinky Tech coin. And this is kind of just a silly, mention of a format to bring more awareness to the Dinky Tech brand, but at the same time, coining the Dinky Tech coin revolving around philanthropy energy, which is just a symbol for philanthropy energy, to just try to inspire more philanthropic energy. And that is sort of the name of the game. That's it. I mean, that's the intent and name of the game, if you will. And so, yep. Yeah, I mean, that's in essence it. Like the what else was I gonna say about that? Yeah, I mean, it's just like it's meant to be a symbol for philanthropic energy, which that's what it is. It's free. That's what it all comes down to. It's free on both ends. It's free for the. It's free. That's what it's all about. It's like creating a new type of energy. That's what it's kind of all about. It's like this energy that's in the world, because there's yeah, I mean, basically, like if you, like, for example, if fruit was just everywhere, if it was in the air and it was just like that way, like it just kind of whoop, blossomed, and you could just go whoop, like you just, if you had to do this symbol like this 3 times, and then an apple would appear, and that's just the way nature worked and physics worked, there would be no demand for apples. There would be no buying apples in the store. So this is trying to take a different rendition of the concept of something that's present like that, being able to do that with apples, but doing that with the philanthropic energy. The DINKY TehC coin is free. In this video, it's just paraphrasing and rephrasing the purpose and intention of cryptocurrency as a whole and money as a whole as something that you have to pay or do something for to get it, you know, in exchange. And this is something where it's completely different like that. It's like the apple out of thin air, where it's just free because it's already there, but it's being coined as something that is, you know, scarce so that it brings value. But realistically, it's a parody marketing video bringing value to the brand more than anything. And at the same time, it's trying to amplify the energy which exists in the world all the time and is around us, to amplify the mindset which DINKY TehC revolves around as a whole, as a brand regardless, by talking about the DINKY TehC coin, which is in essence, in this instance, philanthropic energy. And the reason for that is to try to identify more so the idea that by acknowledging this free energy that circulates the world, that it just has the ability not just to bring people together, but to cause good, positive results, positive, you know, positive outcomes. And as a result, you know, it's just sort of intentional to keep the keep that going, you know, in a perpetual sense, in a perpetuity kind of a sense, like, so that it's just like, you know, it's a symbol of this free energy so that it repurposes just the nature of everything in an ideal way. Like it's like a free coin, but realistically, like, I mean, some of the NFTs that we want to make in the future are meant to be tradable. So this coin is something that is meant to just foundationally address philanthropic energy. Like money is monetary energy. So that's like how Bitcoin is so significant and has demand and is big, because monetary energy has been programmed into software. So that is a thing. But philanthropic energy is something that has not been really addressed. It's almost like, you know, there's not really a Bitcoin for philanthropic energy in the meantime. There's things that are working towards it, I think, you know, whatever. The metaverse and all this jazz it's relatable, but philanthropic energy is not the fuel that's driving a lot of vehicles necessarily, whereas this is like an invention of a hydrogen car or whatever you call it, like a gas car versus a steam engine. I don't know. It's a new type of fuel, and that's the bottom line. It's like inventing a new type of money or a new type of fuel, because like investments are called vehicles, and obviously the gas is money, and obviously the gas of a business vehicle is money. That's what makes it run. So like having philanthropic energy not only on the back end of businesses, like so that it's like you know, a focus for results of businesses to have more philanthropic impact, more journalism relating to philanthropic energy, but as a whole addressing philanthropic energy on the front end and the back end of the you know, in exchange for the monetary energy sense. It's like making play and making hypothetical hypotheses around, you know, the positive focus on philanthropic energy as a currency, whereas it really actually is in this parody sense that in relation to science, also. So that's why the parody is also meant to entail edutainment. It's just recontextualizing different focuses to try to make the edutainment still valuable in the way of science and reality, because it's like certain political comedy that like makes jokes about things, but it's like it's just also sheds light on unique perspectives that brings value and education, while at the same time making a preposterous joke based on something just very ambiguous or just unique and out of the ordinary and berserk sounding. So this is similar, I guess you could say. So it's just sort of the introduction of the DINKY TehC coin, which is like philanthropic energy in the introduction for the intention of commerce, if you will. And like, so if it's free, then it can just take on a new form of demand. It's very much like dirt on the ground, like dirt is there and it's free, but if it had all this potential energy in it, and it was never discovered necessarily, and then eventually it was discovered that way, then eventually it would get value. But the thing about this kind of energy, philanthropic energy, is it's just more pure in the sense, like on the front and back end, it seems, because it's like, it's just the nature of the composition is energy that results in just perpetual and opposing growth, if you will. Like the roots of it, the core of it, the makeup of it, the root essence of it is in essence, revolves around not just growth, but just like potential for greater I guess expansion of a lot of energies, I think, that are positive and productive to flow out from that and just sort of expand in a peculiar way, like a garden, just sort of blossoming in its own respect in relation to humanity, when it's like valued in a certain light, and like the philanthropic energy is the center of this coin, so to speak, that like it's not about having something in your wallet, in essence. It's about more having something in here that reflects to value, that's the right kind of value, which is good deeds and kind results of positive actions, and going out of one's way to do things that doesn't have monetary compensation for the sake of a good feeling. It's like drugs that are free, also free drugs. The DINKY TehC coin of philanthropic energy is, if you do things for people, sometimes it causes a positive response that's better than like getting money, in essence. So that's along the lines of how it provides value in a similar sense. And this untapped energy resource is a joke, but it's also like meant to like be symbolized at least by the this coin in this video. So yeah, that's where we're at with it right now. I should just go ahead and end it. Where's the time at here? Where's the time? How long has this time been? I don't see a timer. Where's my timer at? Okay, 13 minutes. Yeah, so that's a little long. It's a little longer than necessary, but hey, we're trying to release unique products out here with the DINKY TehC coin, right? It's a cryptocurrency, and it's free, and you don't need a computer, and it's already installed in your brain. It all has to do with also a mindset that DINKY TehC stands for as well, in an essence, and like hopes to have some intellectual property in every country in the world, ultimately, with this philanthropy, energy sort of at the core of the the nature of how DINKY TehC intends to or hopes to evolve as a brand into like all countries ultimately, eventually, if you will. Similar to like Airbnb, and they're just a tech company and they're able to be in every country, and that's sort of the intention of this fuel, to continue to get the awareness to, also called the Change for Games. So it's DINKY TehC and Change for Games Studios as a whole, and Change for Games Studios more represents like the global element of this energy as well, which is philanthropic energy. And the Dinky Tech coin is sort of the heart of it, just like there's a Disneyland coin, I think, at like Disneyland, or there's Disneyland dollars, for example. So it's similar to that. But philanthropic energy is in essence free. It's as free as dirt. So it's just similar to that as like a symbol for the pipeline of energy type that is within the ecosystem of the Change for Games Studios, which is our world. It's a symbol. It's a mindset shift symbol that in essence is the fuel for the vehicle, which we are all vehicles as people with the energy within us. So it's like the fuel for that in this world, parody world, fake world, imitating the real world, so that the hopeful progress and productivity and such moves in the direction off of the fuel of philanthropic energy as the base, if you will. So that's kind of just a fun little mindset shift game, right? We're all now hanging out and spending time with this game, which is this parody that started as this video, was talked about at the start of this video. So yeah, and that's how, so that in essence relates to games as well, and gaming, and just being like a kid again in essence. And like kids didn't really have money, but sometimes they would do nice things for people, and it just like kind of runs off of that kid life. Sometimes runs off of that, not really, not always, but adult life, and just the ecosystem of business life, and a lot of things in life that have to do with growth, productivity. A lot of things are given. It's not always about exchange of value all the time. Like oftentimes giving has peculiar unforeseen results in terms of growth in many ways, like just doing things like without expectation or knowing what the heck is going to happen. And it's just like not based upon necessarily just work, like an exchange of like time for money, for example. It's like kind of the opposite. It's like giving with no expectation because it feels good, in essence, like a drug, like dopamine, like almost better sometimes than getting money, in essence, which is weird. And it's not, maybe it is talked about sometimes, just not all the time. But anyway, that's why this little Dinky Tech coin is meant to be released today, and that sense as like just to embolize or symbolize the nature of doing so, just going ahead and going out there to just put that and package that little mindset into this little chit chat to release this coin, so that it's more like a mental free item thing that can just be stored in that wallet up here, which is a bank for good assets, for sure, mental assets in many instances. So like this can be stored up here and deposited up here in the meantime, and hopefully it can resonate into some silly Dinky Tech coin like one of the other altcoins or something. Ultimately, we'll see about that one. I'm not too super psyched on the whole global monetary ecosystem, including the legal elements of it related to super stringent aspects that sort of garner, well, whatever you call it, harness, certain potential for certain conceptual energies within currencies based upon certain regulatory things and such that sort of regulate certain energies' potential to be able to do certain stuff. So anyways, the world is evolving. A lot of different texts are coming about this, that, and the other thing. This is a parody joke, in essence, but at the same time, we're still trying to grow this brand, and I do content sparsely these days, so I'm trying to make it count when I jump on here, I guess you could say, so that it's a little bit more than just like doing more just like content all the time. So it's just like a matter of keeping up with the brand maintenance, if you will, like, which is still fine and fun in all honesty, but there's just too many other things in the interim to be able to be squeezing content in on every day, more or less. Like that is somewhat not factored into exactly what the focuses are on from the day-to-day these days, at least anyway. But I hope that hopefully that will improve, and there'll be some more of that, the content type stuff going forward. But yeah, anyways, that's the Dinky Tech coin. Philanthropic energy fueled, based, programmed with, and like, so it's just a matter of putting it out there that this energy is out there. It's now a coin in this video anyhow, at least. And it's meant to just perpetuate and percolate and populate more so around these principles and this concept of spreading the monetary energy, philanthropic energy as a whole, as a form of currency, like just straight up, like, and it's just based on a proclamation of this, like showing the, you know, essences of things I've described before that relate to just hopefully perpetual motion of this energy, and seeing it as valuable, seeing it as currency, whether it's free or not, whether it's harnessed in one way or another. It's, you know, meant to entail and symbolize something that's not able to have bad within it, and as a result that energy it's just made to have pure synthetic perpetual, like, you know, growth properties within it, within that mindset, within the use of it, within just continuous expansion from Games for Change for Game Studios, where we, you know, have an interest in the world acting like kids again, and having businesses revolve around that mindset as well, down to this video making a coin for called the DINKY Tech coin that's you know, based and programmed on and revolves around philanthropic energy, and, you know, we're just one philanthropic focus at a time and industry at a time, and way to just try to spread the potential capabilities for people to all, you know, share in different tools that exist around the world, is just like that much more, hopefully, you know, available and present, with, you know, with this mindset and the DINKY Tech coin in mind, because it's just trying to act like, you know, almost like a visualized visualism sense. Visualizing. I'm looking to the referee. Is the visualism? No. Visualization sense to be able to, like, you know, just perpetuate the mindset of the philanthropic energy existing, being around us, if you will, as a whole, to then try to, you know, be able to physically see it, ultimately from focusing on it, and then to be able to act on it and use it and store it, and like electricity within, somehow be able to, like, fuel interesting, peculiar, subconscious philanthropic, you know, outbursts, if you will, from storing and garnering and sharing this energy, if you will, from the DINKY Tech coin, in essence. So anyways, yeah, thanks again. Cheers, have a good afternoon. DINKY Tech. Peace.